So for the month of
Good
May,
afternoon.
electronic products still the lion's share of exports for the country, also higher than what was posted last year. This
Right.
signify that uncertainties are behind you now.
Well, this just indicates that we're on the road to recovery. But then again, a lot of it depends on factors such as the continued supply of vaccines and agency policies that are challenging the industry right now.
Mhm.
So we're looking forward because the private sector actually placed orders for AstraZeneca, which will come next week, and then Moderna, which started arriving. But on top of that, as you know, the government is supporting the LGUs in terms of other vaccine supply. So we're optimistic that as long as we have a steady stream of vaccines, then we could look forward to meeting our growth target of 7% for 2021.
Well, interesting. Well, you're at that, Sir Dan. Your reaction to that JP Morgan report naming the Philippines as one of five economies most vulnerable to the Delta variant, and how might that affect our return to pre-pandemic activity?
Well, I think that study was based on the situation prior to, let's say, maybe a quarter or two ago when we really didn't have a steady supply of vaccines yet. But as you know, the government and the private sector have done, an excellent job of placing orders and getting them delivered. We just hope that these efforts are sustained. As you know, the target really is to get herd immunity by either late November or early December. So we're looking forward to that. The concerns really are more of like operational issues and agency rulings. To be exact, for example, this BIR ruling on the 12% VAT on constructive exports. And just when you thought that everything was stable, we get hit with something like this. And the multinationals will continue to operate, and they will operate based on the lowest cost of operation.
Mhm.
So if we get this 12% VAT applied to constructive exporters, meaning the local suppliers, then what the multinationals will be forced to do will be to import these materials, and that's not good for the local industries because essentially it will reduce our export revenue. And then moreover, if this is an extended pattern, then we will see a drop in employment, a reduction of employment. So we're concerned about that, and so we're interfacing. We're trying to get reconsideration from DOF and BIR, but so far we haven't really been successful.
Question: Since you're at that, since you're discussing that BIR regulation imposing the 12% VAT on constructive exports, how do you expect that to affect you achieving your growth targets for 2021, which is a 7% growth, as you mentioned earlier?
Well, the impact, as I said, would be for multinationals to transfer the orders from local companies to foreign suppliers. Yes, there will be some additional logistics cost, but it's still going to be less than the 12% VAT. So short to medium term, we're going to see a reduction in exports, maybe not as significant as what will happen in the subsequent years. But more concerning really would be if this is not, changed, and if we don't get a reconsideration from BIR, this will be a continuing pattern, which means transfer of volumes from local suppliers to foreign
Mhm.
suppliers, and that's a big concern for our industry. It's gonna be additional uh, cost, so to speak, in terms of logistics, but then again, not as much as the 12% VAT.
Mhm.
But really, what that translates to is another factor for the loss of competitiveness of our industry.
Mhm. But what for you would be a good middle ground here, especially if you
Well,
have the agency being bent on imposing the 12% VAT?
the thing about it is that most of our exporters are under locators in the PEZA ecozones, and by that situation, we're not supposed to be paying VAT for
Mhm.
the constructive exporters because eventually those products are not consumed in the Philippines. They're eventually exported. The reason that we were told that that was imposed is because some, I guess, some entities abuse it, and so they want to eliminate that abuse. However, is that the right thing to do? Instead of targeting the specific abusers, why penalize the whole industry? And of course, the argument is it will be reimbursed anyway, right? So, but if that's the case, why hire additional people to collect and reimburse, and in a process that takes years? So again, goes counter against the ease of doing business, and that's things like this are what's going to hurt our industry and our competitiveness.